this is Rincey Reads. Today I'm going to be doing a book review on Perfect Scoundrels by Ali Carter. This is the third book in Ali Carter's High Society series. This is one of the books that was on my most anticipated for 2013 list because I really enjoyed the High Society series, but I also wasn't sure if I was going to end up doing a review on this book. I never really had a whole lot to talk about when it came to it. I just felt like they were really fun books to read. They were always just like a solid 3 stars to me, but then I finished this one and it was absolutely amazing. The High Society series is about a group of thieves. I basically always just describe it as like Ocean's 11 but with teenagers. Now if you haven't read the first 2 books in the series, I don't know if you necessarily want to watch this review, but I will just say before you close out that you definitely should give it a chance. It's just a really fun, lighthearted series that I always really enjoy. The story starts off with Kat and Hale and Gabrielle all doing a job together. Marcus, Hale's butler or chauffeur or whatever you want to call him, contacts Hale and basically it's just like, you need to come home. When Hale hears that, he leaves Kat literally hanging during the job, like literally like she's hanging from like scaffolding or something like that. You find out that Hale's grandmother has actually passed away. Turns out that the grandmother actually left Hale to be the heir of the big Hale corporation. But then after the reading of the will took place, Marcus contacts Kat and tells her that he thinks that the will might be fake, and so Kat kind of has to go and figure out whether or not this is a fake will, and she kind of has to do this without Hale knowing because it might be that this will was a fake and Hale really isn't the heir to the company. The reason why I think I love this book so much more than I enjoyed the other 2 books is because you're finally getting to really see more depth to these characters. I feel like the first book was kind of just establishing who Kat is and who her family was, and then the second book was kind of more about digging a little bit deeper into Kat and kind of seeing her relationship with Hale. And then this book is finally when you really find out a lot more about how these characters grew up and what their families are like, things like that. You get to see a lot of Hale's family. You meet his parents and some of his aunts and uncles and different people from his family that you don't really see in the other books, because all of the other books take place in Kat's world while this book is very much in Hale's world. You really find out a lot about Marcus, which I wasn't expecting because Marcus has always just sort of been that silent, always there for you when you need him character. Marcus definitely takes more of an Alfred type role, if you will, to Hale's Batman, and provides a lot of guidance into behind the scenes aspect of Hale that we don't necessarily get to see on a regular basis and that Kat doesn't necessarily get to see on a regular basis. You also get to see more of Kat's family. She pulls in a lot of people from her family, a lot of characters that we already know, like Uncle Eddie and her dad, but also just other uncles and cousins that just happen to be there and be available for the family whenever they need it. You actually get to see a lot of Uncle Eddie in this book, which I really enjoyed. It was really fun just getting to see more of him, and I think just getting to see more of everyone. I feel like this book feels more well-rounded because it doesn't just focus on Kat quite as much. The first 2 books are pretty predictable in a sense of you kind of just know how things are going to turn out. Maybe I'm just someone who watches too many heist type TV shows and movies, but it's always just you get the crew together, you plan out the job, something goes wrong, they adjust, the job gets finished anyways. And the heist aspect isn't always my favorite part of those stories. It's usually the characters behind those heists and finding out about them. And this one, it definitely doesn't go the way I think it's going to. It doesn't follow that formula anymore. When I was getting towards the end of the book, I was like realizing things and I was like, oh, we're getting towards the end and things haven't happened the way that they're supposed to. And so you actually do feel quite surprised by the end. I don't want to spoil anything, but there was one chapter where I almost threw my book against the wall because I had a lot of feelings about something that had happened. And I wasn't expecting that whatsoever from this book, and I think one of the reasons why is just because this book deals a lot with death and relationships and family, and those are things that, you know, tug at everyone's heart. That wasn't really as present in the other books, and so I feel like that added a lot more weight to this book that I really enjoyed. I really think this is the best book out of the series, and I really feel like Ali Carter sort of pushed herself with this one in terms of story. I really like this series a lot more after reading this book, and I feel like it's changed a lot about how I view all of the characters, which is really great. Let me know what you guys think if you've read this book, or if you have read the other books in the series. Are you thinking about picking up this one? If you aren't, I definitely think you should. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching. really think this is the best. I really think this is the best series. Blah, blah.